Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nerds of the Round Table. I'm your boy Antonio Padilla. With me, as always, Cliff Red Dog Miller, and Swag is not with us today. He's busy doing swag stuff, but you can check him out on his YouTube channel. Go check him out. And as of today, recording March 27th, 2021, yesterday was actually Swag's birthday. So, hey, Swag, when you're editing this, throw up some balloons, some confetti cannons, all that jazz. Happy birthday, man. Cliff, you know how old he is?
You know what? I'm scared to ask.
He's 20. 20 years old, right? Doesn't that make you feel like an old man?
Oh yeah, I remember. Was it first week he was home? Like I remember
Yeah.
like holding him like this and
Oh,
like being afraid. Like your mom had to teach. You know what's crazy is that your mom actually was one who taught me how to hold a baby because like I didn't know. I was like looking at Jonah. I was like, Jonah, I don't even know what's going on right now, bro. Your mom like had to teach me. That's crazy to think about.
yeah. It's insane, man. He's 20 years old.
God,
Ah,
old.
yeah. So, so happy birthday, Swag. Sorry he couldn't be here, but like I said, he's doing stuff. But yeah, man, awesome, awesome, awesome. He'll be back next week, hopefully. So, all right. So, with all that out of the way, and before we go any further, I want to remind everybody out there, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Go ahead. We'll give you time to do it. We have all day. Right, Cliff?
We have all day. Especially if you hit the pause button, we have years.
Yeah, literally. We would do this for all eternity. All right,
Call
did
me
you do
Steve
it?
Rogers.
There you go. Do it all day.
All day.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Cliff, oh boy, like I said, we got some stuff to talk about today. Oh my goodness. All right, let's start off with we got a trailer I know everybody was looking forward to, myself, Cliff. I know Swag saw it. Let's not even sugarcoat it. Let's get it. The Suicide Squad. We got the first trailer for the Suicide Squad. Cliff, what do you think of this trailer, man?
Yo, I'm just gonna be honest, man. I can't wait to see John Cena. Like, like,
Yeah, John Cena stole the show in the trailer. I'm not even gonna lie, but you and I have said this many, many times before. The dude is like legit comedic actor. Like, yeah, man, I'm all for it. There's a great shot in the trailer. It's like a split second, but it's like him on a bell tower, like perched up, like, and he's got his gun aimed right, and he's got like jean shorts on and like his socks pulled up all the way to his. That shot alone like made me laugh so hard, Cliff. I'm not even good because he's so big and he's like in the tiniest corner of the bell tower. It's hilarious.
yo, the fact that he was just like, he goes, if there was a beach cover full of dicks and they told me that to save him and I had to eat all the dicks, I'd say no problem.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh my goodness.
I was like, oh my god. I love the question right after that. Who would cover a beach full of penises? He's just like, I don't know. You know how madmen work.
Like who knows why madmen do what they do? Like
Yo,
that's
just
God, it's so good.
his comedic timing is like on point with like
Oh,
everything.
yeah, for sure. Like oh man. Yeah, like he's legit. Like I said, he's legit funny. Like, and when I found out he was going to be in this movie, it's written and directed by James. Dude, I can't wait for that Peacemaker show now. Like,
Hmm.
I was a little like, I'm not sure if that's going to be for me, but just seeing this trailer, I'm like, oh, for sure, I'm gonna tune into that. Like, you got me, no question.
Oh yeah, it was great. And I was like, yo, and then like, I love the fact that they open up with that scene. They're like, we're here to break you out. You're here to save me? Well, I
Yeah,
can go back in and you guys can come save me then. I was like, yo.
I love it so much because when Harley's like, you were gonna rescue me, she like legitimately looks like touched, like that they were gonna save her. Like she looks like she's about to cry, like she's that moved by it. I love it so much. Oh, so good. Yeah, and
She
she's
could
like,
tell
I
like she got beat
got
up. She got like the blood.
the blood running down. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I can't wait for that. I can't. It's oh, it's so good. Also, confirmation: Sylvester Stallone is indeed the voice of King Shark. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
He just ate a man whole. Like, with no.
Man. Also, what about that when you see him ripping that dude apart? Like, what the? Yeah. By the way, folks, a Red Band trailer, and the movie's rated R, so no kids allowed.
I just and the other part I really liked too was when he was like, hand. She was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a hand.
Yes. Very good. But I love that. I this probably isn't the way it plays out in the movie, but in the trailer, that little banter between Bloodsport and Polka Dot Man, where he's like, "We're all gonna die," and she's like, "I hope so." It's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like that. That was so great. Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, man. I go ahead, Cliff. Go ahead.
I would say James Gunn just has like this knack of like making me care about character because like, we talked about this with Guardians of the Galaxy. It was just like we didn't know who those guys were, and then even you said you barely knew them. You're like, that movie's gonna suck,
No,
and then
no, I knew Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's why I was like, this movie, like that comic is stupid. This movie's gonna suck. But
here we are.
he did the James Gunn thing where he took a comic book that I was like, this is stupid. Why are they making this into a movie? And he made us care. He made us care about this character. And you remember, Cliff, we saw the. I'm sure this is where you were going, and I just stole your thunder. But when we saw the the set photos, and I was like, dude, I don't even know who half these characters are. But like, I'm so hyped for this movie. It's ridiculous, man.
Like I legitimately am like, yo, I really like Peacemaker. I had no idea who Peacemaker was prior to like the trailer, so I'm glad James Gunn was like, hey, let's shine a light on that dude.
Yeah. Well, and that's legitimately, I think, part of what James Gunn does so well is he takes incredibly deep cuts, super obscure characters, and turns them into like superstars. Like 10 years ago, if I had asked just anybody who had seen Iron Man or whatever, like, hey man, what do you think of Star Lord? They would have been like, what? I don't watch Star Trek. What is that all about? Like, that's not Star Trek character. Like,
You would have been just like this who?
yeah, exactly. And that's the stuff I love that he does. Is like in the movie, it's supposed to be this big thing. It's like Star Lord, and everybody's like, "Who the fuck is Star Lord?" Like, what? I love it, man.
Sounds like an asshole. But yeah, so back to like yeah, like all the interactions that are going on. Obviously, we're gonna get like a bunch of big explosions. It's the Suicide Squad movie. But yeah, I mean, James Gunn legitimately like just like gave us this world inside of like the DC universe that is just like I just can't wait till it comes out, and I'm gonna be all about it when it comes out. Like I wish Suicide Squad would have been what this is gonna be. Like I get that James Gunn was tied up, but really wish this is what it would have been like because I feel like we would have got so much more out of this. Because I legitimately care more about Harley Quinn than I did when I saw Suicide Squad. So I'm just like, I love Harley's character in this one now even more, and I think it's because obviously James Gunn does a great job of like writing and he does his way of directing films, and I'm just like I legitimately like oh shit okay I can fuck with Margaret in this one now.
Yeah, no, it's like straight up, man. Like, I agree. Like, I remember watching the Suicide Squad, and we've talked about that enough. Like, we don't have to reiterate our thoughts on that. But like, legitimately, this movie looks more like what the comic books are. Like, it's this crazy group of supervillains who are sent on covert operations, and like that. This movie legitimately looks like that. The first movie kind of, is that, but like not really. So it's like, yeah, that wasn't like the best representation of the Suicide Squad, but this definitely looks like it. So much so that the creator of the modern Suicide Squad, like what everybody else would recognize as the Suicide Squad, he has a cameo in the movie. He's in the trailer. He's the guy who shoots the bomb into Vaughn's neck. And I was like, how fitting is that he's the doctor who's putting the bombs in their heads? Like, that's awesome. That's amazing. I love it. So, yeah, man. And also the last thing I want to touch on before we move on from this trailer, uh, Starro, Starro the Conqueror as the villain. And I don't know if you guys will remember this. I said this a couple episodes ago. And by that I mean like, I don't know, 5 to 10 episodes ago. But we were talking, and I was like, guys, I know who the villain in the Suicide Squad is, and it's awesome. And look, I wasn't expecting to see him in this trailer, the first trailer, but there he, and yes, it was indeed Starro. So, and that's all. So for anyone who doesn't know who Starro is, he is actually the first supervillain the Justice League fought when they formed in the comic book. Starro the Conqueror. He's like a super intelligent, telepathic starfish. I don't know how else to describe it. But no, like legitimately, like I love the fact that, and that's such a James Gunn thing to do, to take that character and bring it to life in live action, and have the Suicide Squad face off again. Like, that's amazing. I love it. I love that that's what he did. And yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this movie. Like, Cliff, what about you? Any other thoughts?
No, I just like the fact that we get to see a giant starfish beat a bad guy.
Oh yeah. And I love that line too with the reveal. It's like, holy, we got a kaiju up in this, and you see Starro. Oh my god, I love it. It's so great. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first trailer for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And a reminder to everybody out there, this movie is dropping in theaters August 6th, 2021, as well as on HBO Max the same day. So if you're like me and Cliff and you're still not feeling going out to a movie theater, HBO Max is your best friend. So there you go. Also, quick before I forget, Godzilla vs. Kong coming out on the 30th? Or is it the 31st? 31st. Okay. So that is Wednesday, 2 days away from when you are most likely watching this. Unless you're watching this in the future and the movie's already come out. So there it is.
Hope you enjoyed the movie.
I hope you did. I hope I enjoyed it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving. Oh, Cliff, speaking of the HBO Max and everything, another story that, we got to talk about this because it's pretty big. I don't know if you saw this, ladies and gentlemen, but Disney and all their other properties, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever, they announced they are finally going to start doing day and date releases on Disney Plus. So Black Widow is finally coming out, although Black Widow did get delayed once again to, let me see if I can find it. And Cliff, if you have the
June 9th, right?
Is it June?
I thought it was. I don't know. At this point, man, I'm just like, I don't really know.
July 9th, right here.
July 9th, yeah.
So Black Widow will drop July 9th, and Cruella, which I'm not going to lie, I forgot that was even a thing, is going to be dropping on May 7th. They will both be offered on Disney Plus Premiere, which, again, it's a $30 price tag on top of your Disney Plus subscription. Cliff, how do you feel about this?
Okay, well, 2 parts. One, I don't care about the premiere part. I don't give a shit. I think that's stupid that I got to pay another $40 just to watch a movie just 6 months in advance. Because just like Mulan, they did the whole thing, and then 6 months later, you got to watch it for free. So I have the patience. I've been waiting for this movie for the last 2 years. I think I could wait another 6 months after it comes out to watch it. Same with Cruella. Even though, like, I am kind of hyped to see this movie because I really am kind of like, the trailers got me excited. And I really do like seeing everybody play out. I can wait. I can wait. And I think the other part that really worries me is that, like, I just like the fact that HBO is like doing it right. like HBO Max is like, hey, like we're not gonna charge you this extra money because you're already paying for this. We already got you locked in for a year.
Yeah.
So like it's cool. Disney should know that too. Like, hey, yo, we know we got your money. We'll
Yeah.
give you guys this stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Like I legitimately don't understand what Disney's doing. Because like you said, it's like they have your money. Like I got Disney Plus. I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to be canceling anytime soon. And I'm not even the world's biggest Disney fan. You know what I mean? But like, I'm there. I'm in. Let's do it. So yeah, man, like you already got my money, man. Like you don't need an extra $30. You know? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's great that they are finally releasing these movies. You know, because it's like you said, well, not me, but people have been waiting for Black Widow for a while now. And yeah, it's just ridiculous that they were holding off on it for so long. And like so late in the game, they're like, fine, we'll release it, and blah blah blah. So I don't know, man. It just feels weird. I agree with you, Cliff. It's a very weird move, especially this at this point. So
Like even if you did like if you charge that $40 to Cruella because it's coming out day of, like yeah, you originally planned it. But Black Widow, like that's a movie that Disney should be like, hey, you know, guys, like we know we delayed this a couple times, so here it is for you guys. Like I know you want to make your money back, I get it, and then you still got to pay Scarlett like all her money, but I'm not paying $40, so I'll wait another 4 months just to watch it. Scarlett ain't
yeah,
gonna take my $40.
no, I've already given her enough of my money, man. Like I got I got action figures, and she got my money. That's what I'm saying. She already got my money.
She got my money in Eight-Legged Freaks, like that's it. Like, and I
Or
don't know why I paid for that movie.
good pull, Cliff. Good pull. Dude, I forgot she was in that movie. Huh. Here we go. On that nostalgia kick again. Thanks, Cliff.
Right.
But I mean, that's the way it is. Disney Plus, they got the stuff if you're willing to pay for it. Or like if you're like Cliff, you got the patience to just wait for it. So, and I think we've all got patience. If the last year has given us anything, it's patience.
We've been tested.
Oh yeah, we have been tested, and our patience has been forged in the year that was 2020. So, oh man, but yeah, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you're willing to pay for it, go ahead. If you're gonna be patient, like Cliff, just wait it out. It's all good. All right, Clifford, let's get into some casting news because that's basically all we have this week. But some really great casting news. Like I'm not gonna lie, almost all of this, no, like all of this has me super excited. Like in a way that I probably shouldn't be, but I am. So let's talk about it. Update to a story we reported on last year. So everybody knows Ruby Rose walked away from the TV show Batwoman, which led to Javicia Leslie being cast as Ryan Wilder, who is the new Batwoman. But if you remember, and I think Cliff remembers this, and I know Swag remembers it, when we were doing our, hey, who should be the new Kate Kane? My vote went to this actress, Wallace Day, who I know mostly from the TV series Krypton, where she played Nyssa Vex. Spoiler alert for that show. She is Superman and Supergirl's grandmother. But my vote went to her to get the role. Number one, because she already bears enough of a resemblance to Ruby Rose that the transition would be seamless enough. She's also a fantastic actress, and she checks all the right boxes to be the replacement. Now, of course, we didn't think we were gonna get a replacement, but in a surprise announcement that I believe came out last Sunday, Wallace Day is indeed our new Kate Kane, and boy, am I excited! Like, and that's just putting it lightly, because like I said, I love her so much. I really wanted her to get the role, and she got it. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Um, And the reason I bring up the whole thing about her being on Krypton, the TV series, and being Superman and Supergirl's grandmother is I look, I know they're not doing any crossovers this year, but next year I hope like Superman or Supergirl, fingers crossed, they see Kate and they're like, Kate, what happened? Where have you been? Why do you look like my grandmother? Like, like I would love for one of them to say that. Like that would be so great.
I was like, it would have to be Supergirl, right? That would have to say it because Supergirl was older than
Yeah. Oh,
Cal.
you're right.
They left the
Yeah.
planet. Yeah. So Cal was an infant. He was like, I wouldn't remember him. I wouldn't remember her unless like I saw her in, in the ship.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. So yeah, good call, Cliff. I didn't even think
I need
about
this
that.
joke now, though. I really do.
Yo, I want it. Yo, CW, give me a call. I'll write it for you.
It would definitely be cool. I would definitely like to see something where it's like just have Melissa, have her come back and just stop and just stare and just be like, you look very really familiar. Then just like anybody who's
Yeah.
like inside will be like, oh, I get that joke.
Or you do that, she'd be like, Kate, you do look different, but you still remind me of some, and then it's just like, oh, whatever. At the end of the crossover, she's like, you look like my grandmother. Or something like, you know what I mean? Like just something. Just like, I
Just
got it.
yeah, just I would at the very beginning of the episode, right, of the crossover, just have her just stop and just be like, I feel like I've seen your face before. And then like right towards the end, yo,
Yeah, right at the
I
end, like she
got you.
finally figures it out. Yeah, that's what I would like to happen.
I
But
would love
no,
that.
and I bring this up because it was recently revealed in Crisis on Infinite Earths, they wanted to get Cameron Cuff, who played Seg-El, the grandfather to Superman. He was supposed to be on Argo City, and they were going to age him up and make him look like an old man. So the idea was that their grandfather survived, and he was on Argo with Supergirl's mother and what little survivors there were. But unfortunately, he just, for whatever reason, they just couldn't make it work. Like his schedule just wouldn't open up and allow him to go do it, which sucks. But like the fact that they were gonna do that anyways is like, oh, that's pretty cool. So like, yeah, why not make some kind of in joke about her like resembling their grandmother now? That'd be super dope. I'd love it. Any other thoughts on this clip?
No, actually, I was looking at a picture of her because I was like, because I'm not too familiar with Krypton, like I don't watch, and I've been watching Batwoman,
Yeah,
because obviously, like, it's kind of whatever. But anyway, I saw a picture of her
yeah,
and I was like, oh God, you do look like her.
yeah.
It
Like
is,
like
it is haunting.
like I said, like there's enough of a resemblance there that's like, yeah. So like I buy that. Like why not? So yeah, man, I'm really excited about this, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel about this? Are you excited? Are you as excited as I am? I bet you're not. But let us know what you think, and if you're still watching. All right. So the next piece of casting is oddly enough also for Batwoman, but for a completely different character that they've been teasing all season long. And we've talked about it. Well, I've talked about it already on this show. Roman Sionis, Black Mask. We have our Black Mask for this show. He will be played by actor Peter Outerbridge, who at first I was like, I don't know who this person is. Then I went through his filmography and I was like, oh, I do know who this person is. He's in a bunch of my favorite movies. And once I figured out who he was, I'm like, you know what? I like it. I dig it. I'm into this casting. He's an older gentleman, which to me kind of signals that like they might be going for more of a traditional like mafia boss type of character, type of version for the character, which I'm fine with because I've been saying it ever since they announced that Black Mask was going to be the villain this season. Whoever they get to play this part is going to have a lot to live up to following Ewan McGregor in Birds of Prey. Because, like I said, that's one of my favorite supervillain performances of all time. But I am going to, I tweeted out, I was like, it's going to be a tough act to follow, but good luck to Mr. Outerbridge. I have all the faith in the world in you. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the character, and I can't wait to see what he does. So, Cliff, again, I know you're not watching the show, but do you have any thoughts on this at all?
Oh wow. I did not until I started looking at this dude's resume and I realized this is the same dude from Cool Runnings. Okay. Yo, I'm in.
Like I said, he's in a bunch of stuff that, like, I'm sure you and I know that other people know, and they might not necessarily recognize his name, but when you go through his filmography, it's like, oh snap, yeah, I do know this guy. It's crazy.
Oh, he's the conductor from Umbrella Academy.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I'm in. Oh, I'm so in.
No, yeah. Like I said, I heard the name and I was like, I don't know that guy. Looked up his filmography. I was like, oh, he's in this. He's in this. What? I was like,
Yeah. I'm in. I'm in. 100%. Let's go.
oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait to see what he does. So
I was like, oh, cool, Cool Runnings. Oh, with that. Okay, I'm in.
that's funny because that was basically my reaction as well. I mean, I saw a bunch of other stuff he was in too, and I was like, oh, I love that movie. Oh, wait, I do know who he is. Okay, all right, cool. Let's do it.
Yep. Bring him
Um,
to me.
yes. Put him in that mask. Let's see what he does. But yes, so ladies and gentlemen, that's our new Black Mask. So can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see what he does. So yeah, I'm excited. Anything else, Cliff? What else did you find?
No, it's just funny because I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. And the fact that we genuinely had like the same reaction, I'm like, that just mine happens to be caught on camera.
Yes. And that's what I love about like getting your reaction live is because we're usually recording when we get your reaction. So
That's so true. It's the worst. It's the worst that like I wish I could genuinely get my reaction like we talk about all the time. Like I wish I just had a camera in my car so that when I
yeah.
watch something, people could be like, "Oh, that's how he really reacts."
Yes. I'm telling you, like we need to get you a dude. I'm just gonna buy you a GoPro for your birthday this year. Mounted in your car. That's a whole series that we're missing out on. Cliff reacts. Like that's it. We'll just edit it together. And it's just literally just you reacting to whatever it is you're watching. Oh man, I would love it. Ladies and gentlemen, would you watch that show? Let us know. All right. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, because we got, like I said, we got so much casting news to talk about. This one, again, these next two, we have multiple castings, but they were announced with like one big piece of casting. So, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we talked about this on the show, and I don't remember if it was last week or the week before that. It was announced that Billy Crudup, who played Henry Allen in Justice League, Barry Allen's father, it was announced that he would not be returning for the Flash movie, not because he didn't want to, but because, again, it was a scheduling thing because he's on some Apple Plus TV series and he just couldn't get freed up to do it. And yeah, I was disappointed in that because I'm like, that's brilliant casting, especially if you've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League and how much more he had to do in that version of the movie. I thought he had great interactions with Ezra. I thought their chemistry was fantastic, phenomenal. So yes, I was disappointed that he would not be returning for the Flash movie. However, this week they announced who would be replacing him, and you know what? I'm not even mad. I am not upset at all. I love this actor, and sure, he doesn't look a lot like Billy Crudup, but that doesn't matter because he's just such a fantastic actor that I was so hyped. I'm like, let's go, let's do it, let's make a movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, actor Ron Livingston will be replacing Billy Crudup as Henry Allen. And like I said, I'm excited. I love this guy. He's in so many movies and TV shows that I love. Most people will probably remember him as Peter Gibbons from Office Space, one of my favorite comedy movies of all time. Clips over there. He's like, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. But like aside from that, like he's in stuff like is it Band of Brothers, Cliff, that he
Yeah,
was
he
in?
is in Band of Brothers.
Yeah, I knew he was in one of those, but yeah, he's in that and he's awesome in that. He look, there's too much. Again, he's one of those actors like you look up his filmography and it's like, look at all this great stuff he's done. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'm super excited for him to be joining the cast again. Yes, I was disappointed that Billy Crudup wouldn't be returning, but like I said, I love Ron Livingston so much. I'm not mad at all. Cliff, how do you feel about this?
No, I'm not mad at all. I love it. I love the fact that he's there.
Yeah,
Every time
I agree.
every time I see a face though, every time I see him though, I instantly think of Office Space. I don't think of anything else. And I know like he's got such incredible work, and I'm just like, yeah, but what you were to do from Office Space?
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie, like that's my like I always just see Peter as well. And honestly, I think that was probably the first thing I ever saw him in. So I maybe that has something to do with it, but
Yeah, I was like, I'm the
but like
same way.
yeah, but like I just love him so much, man. Like I'm happy. I'm happy that he's gonna get to show up in something like this, and I mean like I guarantee you they had to do like screen tests like with him and Ezra to see what kind of chemistry they have, to see how well they play off each other and whatnot. And obviously something meshed, something worked. You know, there was obviously some magic there. So let's see it. I'm all for it. So yeah, man, I'm super excited. And like I said, with this announcement came a couple of other pieces of casting for this same project, for the same movie. It's funny because I was talking to Swag about this. I was like, I know they had an actor like 2 or 3 years ago who was supposed to play young Barry Allen, but I was like, there's no way that kid is still attached. Like he's probably like grown up by now. This movie's been in development for so long. And sure enough, they did announce a new young Barry Allen, young actor Ian Lowe. And I saw a headshot of this kid, and like, dude looks like young Ezra. Like, I'm not even gonna front. Like, they nailed it on this kid. Like, yeah. So I'm excited to see what he does. Also, actress Saoirse Monica Jackson and internet personality Rudy Mancuso.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Cliff, who is that? I have no idea who this is.
Yo. I'm sorry. That genuinely, like, I love Rudy. Oh my god, he's so funny.
Those are
Oh,
the reactions I love to see. But no, like legit, I have no idea who he is. Tell me, please tell
okay,
me.
so Rudy is he's obviously like he's like as Antonio said, he's a giant YouTube star. He's a giant if you guys find him on TikTok, you guys find him on pretty much every platform. But he does all these little skits. And it just so happens that he's well known for being the Latin Superman. And like yeah.
Oh, you know what, dude? I think I've seen one of his videos. Now you just said that, and I'm like, oh, I think I do know who this is now.
Yeah, he's so funny because every time I see him on on the videos, I have to stop and watch his videos. So like he's got a bunch of skits that he did with oh god, his name escapes me. Bach. Jesus, what was his first name? I forget. But he does Black Superman. So they always have like these skits where they go back and forth between who's better, Latin Superman or Black Superman, and it's oh my god, bro, it's on another level of like awesome. So seeing him like in these and gonna be attached to the Flash film, I was like, yo, I'm super excited for this man.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for giving me that information. So now I have. But let me ask you, Cliff. Let me ask you this, like seriously, because Rudy and this other actress, uh, they did not say who either of them are playing. So like, who do you like? What kind of role do you think he's going to be playing?
I mean, I kind of see him as like being like the comedic side as like it would be like it'd be like Ant-Man, right? Where like I'm gonna tell you this short story about like everything that's happening behind the scenes. That's how I kind of see. That's what I kind of hope, at least for Rudy. But Rudy has a lot of range too. Like he is very like when he has to be serious, he's very serious, and when he has to get like like weepy, like he gets like pretty weepy. But I think for me, like personally, like seeing knowing that he's gonna be attached, he's definitely gonna be like he's gonna be like the big comedic relief. Whereas like obviously Ezra's like Flash was very like serious, but he had like a little bit of comedic to him. This is definitely gonna be like he's definitely gonna hit the ground with like the funny side of things and break up like crazy scenes.
All right, I have a theory just based on information you presented me with right now. We know this movie's gonna deal with the multiverse. What if he's actually Latin Superman?
Yo,
Somewhere in the multiverse.
he's also what's funny though is that it was crazy because recently like he's also like been doing like Flash skits where like he was the Flash, and so to see that he's attached to the Flash, I'm like,
Oh,
okay, well, I think I know where you're at now.
that's cool. The other one I have is what if he's Vibe? Like, what if he's Cisco Ramon? That'd be dope. That'd be pretty cool. But I mean, like I said, like no announcement as to who he's playing, just that he's in the movie. So, and also, I have no idea who this other actress could be playing as well. So, yeah, I don't really know. Also, this was announced a couple weeks ago, and I don't know why we didn't talk about this, but also actress Maribel Verdú will be playing Nora Allen, Barry Allen's mother, which is interesting because this is a Latina actress. So does that mean this version of Barry Allen is half Latino?
I hope so.
I mean, if so, I'm not complaining. Like that's
Right.
pretty cool. I seriously like I this casting came out and I was like, interesting. Okay. Just another reason to be looking forward to this movie. So yeah, like there was a lot of casting happening for this movie, and rightfully so because they're supposed to be shooting in April, so it makes sense that they would be rounding out the cast before they start shooting. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for this movie, man. I'm so excited. Once again, directed by director Andy Muschietti. If you don't remember who that is, he directed It and It Chapter 2, as well as other things. And yeah, man, I'm super excited. Cliff, any other thoughts on this?
No. I've obviously showcased like my internet fandom going on.
Yeah, for sure. But like, dude, like, legitimately, I'm glad because, like I said, I had no idea who Rudy was, and now I do, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Oh man,
Oh,
I genuinely, I was like, uh-oh, yeah, I popped a little bit too much for this.
for
As
so
soon as I
sure.
find a video of Latin Superman and Black Superman together, you're gonna be like, oh, this man is awesome.
Like I said, I think I saw one of his, and tell me, like, if this is, I saw one, and I'm pretty sure it's him, but he was dressed in a Superman costume, and it was him fighting Batman, and Batman just keeps like punching him, and he's like, dude, this doesn't hurt me. Like I don't know what, like, dude, I'm Superman. And he just punches Batman once, and Batman's knocked out. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure that's him. Is that him?
that's him.
Okay, I have
And
seen one of his
King
videos.
Batch, King Batch. That's what I was thinking of. Was he does it with King Batch? I was like, yo, bro, like, oh man. And then there was actually they just did a skit, like all of them together again, where it was the Avengers versus the Justice League, and like, oh my god. At one point, like Wonder Woman was talking to Black Widow, and Black Widow goes, "What are you supposed to do? Like, you just bang your braces together." And Wonder Woman's like, "Where's your movie at?"
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, that's too real."
Oh man, no, I'm definitely be looking into Rudy for sure. Like that's awesome. Also, since we're talking about the Flash, I don't know if you see, I got this dope, the Flash versus Red Death.
Oh, I
It's
love
pretty,
it.
it's awesome. I got
Yeah,
that. Pretty sweet.
I was like, you
Um,
already know my feelings on Red Death.
oh yeah, but I don't know if I told you this clip. They name dropped the Red Death on the Flash on the TV show. So We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see where that goes.
I'm gonna have to watch now.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening over there at the Flash movie. Let us know your thoughts. Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you as excited as Cliff is to see our boy Rudy? I say our boy, but I only just became like a fan. Are you as excited as Cliff is? Let us know what you think. All right, let's keep moving because, like, literally the same day, man, the same day that we got all of that casting for The Flash, we also got this piece of casting news. I'm not even gonna, no build up, no introduction. Pierce Brosnan is playing Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie. Bruh. Bruh. Pierce Brosnan. Yes, that Pierce Brosnan. James Bond. Okay? Remington Steele. All right? This guy. He's going to be playing Dr. Fate. And I love it, man. I love it. Can you believe this is his first superhero role, Cliff? He's never even been a villain in a superhero
Oh,
movie.
yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy? But what do you think, Cliff? How do you feel about this?
Oh, I'm in. I'm in with this, especially if he can just like, no, like his acting ability, just even like just think about like his smooth mannerisms, like, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm with this. I'm with this 100%.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Also, the second James Bond to come over to the DC universe after Timothy Dalton over on Doom Patrol, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
I
But
love it.
yeah, so it was announced Pierce Brosnan will be playing Dr. Fate. And look, I don't know what else to say. Obviously, I'm excited. I'm all in. I love Pierce Brosnan. I love the character of Dr. Fate. But this also leaves a question, Cliff, because we did report a couple weeks ago actor Marwan Kenzari had been cast in the film. They didn't say who he was playing, and you'll remember I speculated he was playing Dr. Fate, but I guess that's not the case anymore because we know
Right.
who is playing Dr. Fate. So, what do you think, Cliff? Do you think he might be playing the villain of the piece, possibly?
Yeah, now at this point, like I kind of hope so.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm just
Or
thinking
it's
like it'd be a
possible.
waste of his talent. Like if they were just like, oh yeah, we're gonna put you in this like minor role where you're just like this side character.
Right. Right, that's true. That's true. That's very true. It would be a waste of his talents. Because I did actually end up seeing the old guard finally, and like, yeah, man, dude, he stole every scene he was in. So he better have a meaty role. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so look, not to take the spotlight off of Pierce Brosnan, but like I said, it just opens up some questions about what's going on in the movie, who's playing who. Um, and likewise, there are some other casting pieces for this movie that we didn't exactly report on, and I don't remember why. Probably because I just forgot. But so let me. I guess they're not. I guess they're not exactly in here. Here we go. Okay, so the already announced Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, Quintessa Swindell as Cyclone, Sarah Shahati. I hope I did. I probably butchered that name terribly. She's playing a character whose name we cannot say on YouTube, or we'll get in trouble. Just know that it's also the name of a terrible terrorist organization, which is why we can't say it on YouTube. But this character had that name decades ago. So, also, this character does appear on Legends of Tomorrow, and they don't even call her by that name on that show. Although apparently she will retain that name for this movie. I don't know how that works, but okay. So yeah, no, I'm super excited for this movie. This movie's also supposed to start shooting very soon, if not in April, I believe in May. So again, this also makes sense why they would start rounding out the cast as well. Cliff, any final thoughts on Black Adam and the casting?
No, I'm just very curious to see like what we're gonna get. So I can't wait for Dwayne to actually start filming this movie. So let's get this going because I need this trailer out immediately.
Word. Word. I agree with you 100%. Speaking of Black Adam, let's keep moving. Let's talk about his rival, shall we? Shazam, or hardcore old school peers like me, Captain Marvel. But for the sake of not making certain people angry, Shazam. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, has cast Dame Helen Mirren as Hespera. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. In the sequel, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. She's playing a daughter of Atlas, not the daughter of Atlas, a daughter of Atlas. So she may or may not be one of the gods who is furious. So there we go. We have that piece of the puzzle solved, or at least a part of the puzzle, because a couple weeks ago, I don't know, this may have been still in 2020. It was actually announced that they were searching for a Helen Mirren type, and I don't know how much more Helen Mirren it gets than Helen Mirren, but they were also looking for a Ava Green type and a Zendaya type to play the three villains in the movie. So, I mean, they got Helen Mirren. I'm hoping they get the other two. But yeah, no, I'm super excited because I love Helen Mirren. She's fantastic, talented. I can go on and on and on about all the great movies she's been in that I've seen, going all the way back to, I'm trying to remember, what was the first thing I ever saw her in? Probably Excalibur, a movie I should not have been watching when I was as young as I was, but I did. Definitely left an impression on me. All the way up to, like, I mean, just name anything she's done in the last 5-10 years. You know what I mean? Like, she's phenomenal. She's talented. I love her. And yeah, I could not be any happier that she has joined the cast of the movie. It's like that thing, we were talking about Kate Blanchett doing the Borderlands movie, where it's like she cut her teeth, she did all the Oscar-winning stuff, she got all the awards, she has nothing left to prove, and now she's like, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna do movies that are fun. I feel like Helen Mirren has been doing that same thing, where it's like, yeah, you got nothing to prove. Like, everybody knows how talented you are. Like, just do whatever you want and just have fun. You know what I mean? So, and I think like this, more than anything that she's done in recent years, is like the epitome of that. Right. So, I'm happy. Yeah, Cliff, what about you?
No, I absolutely agree. Like, ever since like Red came out, I feel like Helen Mirren is just like, yeah, just what, fuck it, I'm gonna do this movie too. And Fast and Furious, yeah, put me in that franchise as well. And then, so yeah, to see her and like, see her in the DC world, yeah, definitely. I enjoy it. I can't wait to see her in the background. So her, and then we've talked about it before. And really, now that I see her more and more, I'm kind of like, oh, so if you're looking for a Zidane type, just get Yana Pearl. I mean, she's already there. Like, just
why not?
I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna put you in this movie too.
Hey, I'm not upset about that. Let's do it. Make it happen. But yeah, no, Cliff, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot she was in the Fast and the Furious movies until you said that, and I'm like, no, like totally, like that again. That makes, although apparently she was a big fan of those movies, which is why she was like, I'd like to be in one of those, and they were like, we'd love to have you. So
Vin's like, I don't have friends, I have family, and you're in that family already.
But yeah, like totally, like, and that's kind of the thing that makes me love her even more, is that she's like, oh yeah, I'd like to be in one of those movies, and then all of a sudden she's in one of them. Like, she's in more than one, but but no, she's great. She's fantastic. Like I said, I'll go on and on and on about how great she is and whatnot. But I mean, you don't need me to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you know. You know how fantastic she is. So, and she's just a lovely, lovely woman as well. You know, like I've never heard any bad things about her. So fantastic, love it. So yeah, so that's happening as well. And like I said, I know they're gonna start shooting that movie. I think simultaneously at like when Black Adam is supposed to start shooting. And good, like they need to get. I don't know if you've seen Ash lately, Cliff, but he's looking like a man now. He don't look like a little boy anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Jack
They
this
they
man up.
need to start. Yeah, they need to start working on those soon. So, but yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that's happening. That's casting for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Let us know what you think about that. Are you excited? Of course you are. It's Helen Mirren. How are you not going to be excited about that? But yeah, let us know what you think. Yeah, fantastic. And that's going to do it for casting news this week. And before we get into TV time, which I know Cliff and I both have a lot of things to say about this week, before we get into that, I am going to do a quick games segment, even though it's usually Swag's thing to do, but just to follow up on the whole Fortnite DC thing. So I received a piece of artwork for one of the tie-in comic books that DC is doing, and it confirms Deathstroke is indeed coming to Fortnite. Because this comic book cover, it features Batman, Catwoman, who we already know are going to be returning to the game, a bunch of other Fortnite characters, but right there between Batman, Catwoman, and the other Fortnite characters, the man himself, Deathstroke, right there on the cover. And Swag, when you're editing this, go ahead and throw that artwork up right there for everyone to see. Glorious, phenomenal, fantastic. I love it. So yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. Confirmation: Deathstroke will indeed be joining Fortnite. When, I can't say, because you know, I don't know how these things work. Swag could probably speculate better than I could, but there it is. I just wanted to keep you guys updated on that because I know we were already speculating on it previously. There you go. All right, Cliff, let's do it, man. Let's get into some TV time.
Let's go.
Let's do it. I am going to start talking about The Flash real quick, though, because I want to give a special shout out. This ties back to the beginning of this week's episode. The return of Abracadabra, played by David Desmalchin, who, as you know, is also playing Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad. And I was so happy to see him back because it's been a minute since he's been on the show. I think the last time we saw him was in season 3, and we're in season 7 now. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've seen him, but I was happy to have him back. This episode was actually really, really a lot of unexpected twists and turns. The ending was also pretty crazy. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spend too much time harping on it. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed this week's episode of The Flash. All right, there it is. Cliff, do you want to lead with Superman and Lois, or do you want to lead with Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Let's go with Superman and Lois. We'll just keep it DC for right now. Also, I want to throw something in with about our man, the Small Chin.
What's up, man?
Like, how wild is it of how many characters he's played in the DC universe?
Straight up, man. Bro, I was thinking about this too before the show. It's like this man, he's all over the multiverse, bro. Because we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it. Like he was in The Dark Knight, the movie The Dark Knight. He was on Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
He's on The Flash. He's in the Suicide Squad. Like this dude's everywhere. And not only that, like he's in the Marvel universe as well. You know, this dude. But he's awesome, man. Like I love him. Like he's one of those guys that I've never heard a bad thing about him. If anything, people gush about this dude, and I get it. Like like he's phenomenal, man. Like he's great. He's a talented dude. Number one. Number two, he's just a good person. Like there's a reason why everyone wants to work with him because he does the work, and he's not a troublemaker. So yeah, man, I love Dave. He's a good dude. So
Yep.
Straight up, shout out to Dave Desmalchin, man. Good dude.
Great dude. But yeah, let's jump into Superman and Lois. Like you said, we'll keep it DC and then we'll just hop over to the Marvel world.
Let's do it. All right, Cliff. This week's episode, the best of Smallville. What did you think of this episode? By the way, that's the title of the episode.
Like, was it though? Was it the best of Smallville? Yeah, I get it. No, I really liked it. I really liked that we got to see like some adversity hit the actual town, and then like we saw how like the community rallied around each other, and we're very into it, and they're like trying to help each other build up. I really liked it. It was funny because like we keep tying back to like our hometown, and then there was, I love how like last week we complained about the lift, and this week you notice they didn't say it like the ride share. Get a ride share and go home. It's like that doesn't exist in our small towns. That's not what happens. The police is not around.
That was still a thing where I was like, they got to stop doing this, because like, look, because I love the show, and up until they started doing this, it was like, you guys are really nailing, small town in the Midwest vibes, and they were like, oh, that's my lift, or you guys need to get a ride share. It's like, that doesn't exist in small towns in the Midwest. Stop doing that. But it's one of those things like, look, I get it. All right, I get that. Like, it would be there would be a lot of explaining on screen to be like, oh, we're gonna call a cop to whatever. Like, fine,
no,
I guess
low key, that would make perfect sense. All they have to be like, hey, you need a ride, we'll call the police. They'll just give us a ride home anyway. And then people are gonna be like, well, what does that mean? Like, do cops do that in small towns? Yes, they do.
Yes, that's what you do in a small town. There was no Lyft or Uber. But
it's called PD. That's who our Lyft is.
Yeah. And you know what? They don't charge you, so you don't have to pay them.
The only way you're getting charged is if you committed a crime.
Yes. Ah, brilliant. Well done, Cliff.
So let's talk about this episode though, man, because like there was like a big twist like at the end of the episode that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, me too.
Really? Oh my god! I genuine reaction. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, and also the fact that this is the last episode for like a couple weeks. I was like, really? That's how we're gonna end the episode? And now I have to wait like however many weeks to.
I was like, oh no, this is real. So it's cool to see that we had alternate universe, right? And then now we have this Luthor who, made his big reveal like on why he's upset. I did like though, because it was like some really good foreshadowing where like there was that scene where they interacted with each other, and you could see like in her eyes she was just kind of like, cool, this is just another dude, but in his eyes he was just like,
yeah,
I loved you in another life. And I was like, oh, like going back and rewatching it, I was like, oh, I totally missed this the first time.
Yeah, it is it's like the Sixth Sense moment where you're just like, oh, he's just like really charming or whatever, and then you get that reveal and it's like, oh. Oh, he's in love with her. Okay.
It's her. And there's that scene too where he was like, she was like, come back to me, and he's like, I always do. And then like,
yeah,
because of what happens, like that's not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately. But it also it legitimately helps you understand his motive, like, and where he's coming from, what he's feeling, and it's like, yeah, man, I get it. I'd probably be like, even if it's like, well, this Superman's not evil, but it's like I don't think that matters to him at this point. I think he's just looking for someone to take his grief out on. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, I get that it's wrong, but it's like, is it weird that I understand it? Like, that's it's putting me in a tough spot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I can agree. It's just like there's that scene where like she just there's so much that like happened in this episode where little tie-ins, and you're just kind of like, wow, because like she gives him his card and he's like, I'll get with you, and she's like, no, you bring back what you learned, and you can see in his face he's just like, there she goes again, being her. And then like And then later in the episode, you have that same moment with Clark where he's like looking at Lois and she's like, I gotta go report story. He's like, that's what you're gonna go do. And I was like, ugh. Like the mirrors that they have.
Yeah.
Because clearly
Crazy.
Lois doesn't change in the multiverse, like at all. Like she's always a reporter and she's always the one that's like swoon, like gets guys to swoon over her and they just like fall head over heels and they're just like, and there she goes. And you're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's running.
That is like the perfect description. Yeah, like Lois is legitimately like the one constant. Like she's always that. Like no matter which Earth you're on, that's what and who she is. And it's like, yeah, man, Cliff, you nailed it. Good job,
Yeah.
bro. But yeah, man, like it's just like I'm glad we're getting more. We're learning more about Captain Luther and sort of everything that's going on with him. Also, because we did get a pretty awesome action sequence this week, and he like participated in it. Which, and I have a theory, Cliff. Help, like, let me know what you think of this. All right. So, when Captain Luther first shows up, it's like, oh, he's gonna be the villain, and then we get like the thing. It's like, oh, he's from a parallel Earth where Superman was evil, so he's not really a bad guy, but kind of like. But I'm starting to formulate a theory, and let me know what you think about this. So we know Captain Luther comes from an Earth where Superman was evil, and clearly he knows how to take down Kryptonians, right? What if there's a twist later in the season where him and Superman have to team up to take down Morgan Edge's army of like kryptonite super soldiers? Like, I think that'd be pretty cool because it's like it would force them to work together and sort of reconcile. Like, hey, I'm not a bad guy, and him being like, all right, I see that now, but we got these other bad guys to worry about, so let's go take them down together. I think that would be really cool, and for like most people who don't generally expect this sort of thing, like I think it would really throw them for a loop. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen, or at least I hope that's what's going to happen. What do you think, Cliff?
No, I like that. I like that thought process. I like that thought of like that world like happening and that. So yeah, I'm in with that thought of it. And then even down the line, if people are gonna be like, no, Luther's supposed to be the bad guy. He can always be the bad guy. He doesn't have to be right now. It's just even if it was like season 3, like you can make him the focal point.
Yeah, straight
So I
up.
mean, oh no, I'm definitely down with that. That's definitely gonna be lit if that happens.
Yeah, that was just something I was thinking of. But yeah, I mean, like he said, there was a lot of stuff that happened in this episode. Also, we were talking about it up top about how it's like, we relate a lot about what happens in Smallville to like, the town we grew up in. And it's funny, and I don't know if you'll remember it this way, Cliff, but like, so they had the Harvest Festival, and I was like, that reminds me of so Lazy, the town Cliff and I grew up in. They had something similar called Pioneer Days, but specifically when I was a kid, it used to be a lot like what they depicted here on the show, like where they would sell like craft and like people could sell, just
Like the food they
certain
made, like the food they grew.
yeah, and food. They had food stands and everything like that, and it was like this town celebration that happened over an entire weekend. There was live music and all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, man, like that reminds me a lot of my hometown. So it was just another one of those things where I was like, yeah, man, like again, aside from the rideshare thing, it's like, no, you guys are doing it pretty well. Like it's pretty accurate. Like I like that. So
I feel like that just needs to be a constant joke now. And then like in the next couple
yeah,
episodes, like to be like, who were you using as a ride share? And be like the cops, the PD. That's who it was.
dude, I would love if they straight up just like if they straight up just pulled the rug out from under us. Like, oh yeah, we were just calling it that because we're too used to living in the city. It's just
Right.
it's the sheriff. Like,
Yep. It's the sheriff. It's the deputy on patrol. Like,
yeah, exactly.
okay. It's funny because like we talk about the constants of like Pioneer Days versus like Harvest Day, right? And one of those things I thought about too was the local kids going out, drinking a little bit, and especially maybe somebody being under some heartbreak. I was like, damn. I was
Oh,
like, I was like, that happens a lot.
yeah, happens a lot, especially in small towns. So,
Especially.
yeah. Also, I love that moment after after John sort of ruins Jordan's date, but I love the moment when they meet up with Clark and with their parents, and they're like, "You've been drinking," and Jordan tries to be like, "It's not that big a deal," and Clark's like, "Excuse me." Like I love that reaction because it's just like, oh, like such like that's real like parental energy that just came across on the screen right there. Like,
Yeah. Like, nah, you
I
gotta
love that.
chill.
Yeah,
I was like, dang, dude. I was like, but it was so crazy to see like, obviously like the heartbreak going, and like the spiral that he was going down, and you're just kind of like, damn, like you felt for him because this was like the moment where he was looking forward to like seeing his girl
yeah,
come from Metropolis and was supposed to be spending time with him, and she broke up with him like right before she was supposed to leave, and I was like, I know what that feels like, bro.
yeah. That was, oh man, I felt so bad for him. Like, yeah, that's so heartbreaking because, and especially when you contrast, like everything was going great for Jordan, like everything was going so well for him, and immediately everything starts going bad for John, and it's like, oh man, that sucks. Um, yeah, yeah,
I did like
that was
it.
rough.
Something I was gonna say. I did like it when he was just like, when Clark was like, he's been drinking, and Lo was like, what? And then she's, are you drinking? It's like, that's a mom reaction. That is definitely the parental scene. I was thinking about that too, and I was like, yep. And then he, poor John, I was just like, yo, and there was nothing he could say. She was like, your dad can
Yeah,
smell it, and I can smell it too. You smell like a bar.
oh, spell it. Yeah, that was great. But also, like, because Clark could smell it when he was all the way over there, so he's like, oh, he's been drinking. Like that was great. Oh, I love it. Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
it
man.
was.
Go ahead, Cliff. Go ahead.
I was just like the realization of like the moment where Jason, when they were on their date and like John came over and was just kind of like, he's like making fun, but then like when she woke him up, like out of that moment, was like, you
Yeah,
think you have it so bad when you're in your little perfect life and just like hitting at him. And then he realized, he's like, dude,
yeah,
I fucked up so bad. He's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, don't talk to me. And Jason was just like, bro, what the fuck? He's like, all right, come on, let's go. And like it goes back to what we talk about this like in every single episode, and it's just something we gotta harp on is this, we're gonna keep talking about it because the brother dynamic in here is just so tight. Like, yeah, sure, one of them fucks up, and then the other one is just like, hey man, like, come on, let's get ourselves together, let's continue walking the path. And it's a beautiful thing to see the relationship between those two, and like although the script is kind of flipping, like it's just so cool to see that they're still like, all right, but we're here together, so let's keep it moving.
no, straight up, man. I'm glad you brought that up because it's like, yeah, I really loved that moment too because it's like, John comes in, he messes up Jordan, it's his
Sure.
first date, you know, and and again, like when Sarah's like calling him out on it, you see the moment where he's like, oh, like you can visibly see it. He's like, oh man, I did just fuck this up. And you're right, man. Like, because Jordan, he had every right to be upset with his brother, but he was just like, whatever, man. Like, come on, let's get out of here. He just pulls him aside, he's like, let's go, man.
Well, and I
And
think it
like,
goes back to what Jordan was thinking the whole time with John, where he was like, I've done this in like previous days and you've bailed me out. So like here he's like, essentially how Clark said it, like this is your get out of jail free card because you've been
yeah,
there for me. Like I'm here to help you. And like I just like to, and it goes back to right where that part where Clark was just like, they're pissed and he's like, it's not that big of a deal. And he was just trying to like protect his brother at the same time.
yeah,
It was just
exactly.
I just those two, man, like I'm so glad, like, because at the very first of the episode, right? I was like, it is what it is. I was like, that's cool. It's just like a brother dynamic. But the more like I get to this show, the less I forget about Lois and Clark, and I think more about Jordan and Jonathan. I'm like, yo, their relationship really like makes me want to watch the show even more.
Yeah, no, it's weird because I've said similar things where it's like, Like, yes, I love all the Superman stuff. I love Clark and Lois. I love all that stuff. But like, legitimately, I feel more compelled by what they're doing with John and Jordan, and I find myself wanting to see more and more of that stuff with every episode because it's just like I said, man. It's beautiful. Like, I love it. I love what they're doing, and the two actors, like they're phenomenal, man. Like, they're killing it. So yeah, man, I really loved it. I love this episode, and like we didn't even talk about like what the threat for this episode was yet. Like we didn't even talk about any of that stuff yet because we're talking about all the family drama and all the like the. But again, like it's so compelling that honestly you kind of forget about like, oh yeah, there was a dude with superpowers running around like destroying the town. It's like yeah, that happened too. And like don't get me wrong, it was cool because like I said, there was a great action sequence, and Captain Luthor like had a part to play in it this week, which was cool. But so yeah, like Cliff, what did you think about that? And like, what do you think's going on with that? Because I have a couple theories as well, but like, what did you think?
You kind of touched on it last week, where like with the kryptonite being found, and they're like trying to harvest these like superhumans and stuff like that, but they're not able to like find the right recipe because obviously like some of them can't are reacting violently to what's been going on,
Yeah,
because that's what we see in the building, right, in the African town center, like, you know, one, the son comes back and he doesn't remember anything, but then his laser eyes clearly burn down the building.
yeah,
Which, that was another thing. That was something else I want to talk about. Tom Mitchell. Like, Tom Mitchell
yeah,
is in, like, everybody was thinking about Tom, and that's such like a small town thing that happens, is that in in our town, like when something happens to one person, we all know about what happens, and we all
yeah.
genuinely like show our respects and cares about that person and their family, right? So to see like Kurt was obviously wrapped up. Is that right, Kurt? Yeah. Am I right,
Uh,
Chief? The husband of
oh,
Manuel
wow.
Trujillo. Yeah, Kyle. So anyway,
Uh,
like Kyle. But yeah, so Kyle like genuinely cares about Tom Mitchell, and then like you see like he's sad about that, and he's drinking because he's sad that his best friend can't even participate with him no more. And they're talking about the lung scarring and the smoke and stuff. I was like, yo, but like that energy is so real for like our small towns. Like we get that, and so to see like that happen. But my favorite line was when when he goes, "It was so weird how this all started and just how quickly it went out." I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's funny you bring up Kyle because it's like, like in the beginning of the season, I was like, yeah, I kind of don't like this guy. I get where he's coming from, but I don't like it. But like the more we've gone on, I'm like, oh, I sort of understand this guy a lot more. And like, sure, maybe I disagree with where some of the things he says or whatever, but it's like, I get it. I get where you're coming from, and you're not a bad dude. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, man. Like, I get where you're coming from. I get that you just want what's best for your town and everything. And it's like, I respect it, but I do still think you're wrong. but like, but again, like the fact that I don't hate him, like that itself that's a pretty big win for the show. Because
Right.
it could have been easy to just make him like the douchebag, the town douchebag or whatever, and he's not. Like again, like yeah, I don't really agree with a lot of what he says or whatever, or the way he expresses it, but it's like I get you're not a bad guy. I get that, you know. So that's
Definitely.
pretty amazing, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, yo, and then you kind of like understand, and then like he has like, even though he's like been drinking and he's like super drunk, he has that
yeah,
caring side for like his daughter too. Like I was just like, man, like I don't relate to you because you're
yeah.
kind of the d-bag of the town, but I kind of relate to you because you have all these cool, compelling things about you, and I'm like, damn, bro, like it really. And this show, like, is weird because like we talked about this in the beginning. Like I was like, oh, I'll check out the first episode, and after that, like I don't know. But like the more I'm like, yeah, Superman, you're cool, but you're kind of like you're like the pilot. You're kind of boring, like the video game wise. And I'm really drawn to the rest of the show. Like, oh yeah, it was such a great great moment. Then obviously, the stuff that's going on with Sarah and like like I said, like the whole world's got me wrapped in. I'm like, damn. And then like to see everything going on with Captain Luther, I'm just like, bro, like there's so much stuff that's like hitting at a different pace. It's been amazing.
Yeah, yeah, man. I enjoy the show so much, man. And I mean, like, I kind of figured I would, but like, it's doing things I wasn't expecting it to, which is like you said, it keeps you coming back every week, and good on you. But yeah, so what would you rate this episode, Cliff?
I think I might give it a 9 out of 10. Give it like really high rating because I think like yeah, action wise, there wasn't really there was the one big action scene that we obviously got, but post that it was the I mean without the action scene, I still would have given this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, no, straight up. Like I said, like it's funny because like yeah, there was a pretty big action scene in this episode, but like we didn't even really talk about it all that much. Like we were way more invested in like the human drama of it all, which is pretty amazing, I think. But yeah, no, I would agree. This is definitely a 9 out of 10 for me as well. Like super solid episode, great storytelling. I loved it. So yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching Superman and Lois, let us know what you thought about this week's episode. And again, before I forget, they are going on hiatus, like I said, this week or next week, whenever this episode comes out. Supergirl will be making its return for its final season, and they'll be airing for the next couple of weeks before Superman and Lois comes back. So, Cliff, that'll take a little bit of the load off of your shoulders so you don't have to catch up on as much. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. All right, Cliff, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier this week. Second episode of the season. I'm going to say it right off the top, man. This was a much better episode than the previous week. Cliff, I legitimately loved this episode. Like, loved it. I found myself like, I was glued to the screen, which the pilot episode, I was into it, but I did find myself checking my phone quite a bit. And again, like, no disrespect or anything, but like I said, like, I don't know. There were parts of it that I just wasn't very compelled by or just didn't really hold my attention. This episode, however, I was glued to the screen, bro. Like, I was watching it. Like, I love this episode, man. Like, Marvel, Kevin Feige, give me more of this. More of this. Like, this was fantastic. This was awesome. I loved this episode. Cliff, what about you?
Yeah, I loved this episode in and out, like really, really a lot. And the fact that, how fucked up was it that they were in Baltimore? They didn't even call me. I just thought that was so messed up. Like that was not welcomed. Kevin, that was not welcome. You should have definitely called me. I was available for filming. Okay. I would have played a cop. Realization that
would you want to play? Oh man.
You know what's so crazy though is like the racial tones that
Yeah.
came off the conversation with Sam. Oh man, I was like, that hits at a different level because like being here in Baltimore, there was like a whole bunch of stuff that's happened, and to see like they legitimately were like the one cop was just like, "Is there a problem here?" And he's talking to Bucky about Sam, and Sam's like, "Do you know who this is?" And then the other cop was like, "That's the Falcon." He's like, "Oh, Sam, what's up?" I was like,
No,
bruh.
like legitimately, that's what about this episode that I loved so much, and that's why I'm saying, Marvel, give me more of this, because it was like all the everything it had to say about like racial inequality in the country, and like dude, there was so much that happened in this episode that like really shook me. I was not expecting to see this in a Marvel thing, and again, like not because they can't do it or they shouldn't do it, but like they kind of shy away from it for the most part. And so to see it here, I was just like blown away. I was like, yeah, good for you guys, like branching out and getting like timely and relevant like this. Like, because like the idea of Isaiah Bradley, who, is from the comic books and was a super soldier, And just like in the show, they're like, yeah, like he was out there doing his thing, but like the anger and frustration on Sam, where he's like, there was a black super soldier and nobody knew about him, like just how angry he was. And you're right, like that scene with the cops when they show up and they're like, is there a problem here? That scene, oh, my God, man, like the the storytelling and the filmmaking that's happening, and I know it's a TV show, but I'm still saying filmmaking, but the filmmaking that's happening here, like legitimately, I was blown away. I was shocked. And it's part of what I loved about this episode so much, because like I was not expecting them to go where they were going, and it just like what it had to say, and the performances like by Anthony Mackie in that scene, but also the actor who plays Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly, which Cliff, if you don't know who that is, he's a DC guy. He's DC royalty. He's the voice of Martian Manhunter on Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. He plays Martian Manhunter's father on Supergirl. Like I've known who that guy is for many, many years. In addition to being like a super talented stage actor and a live action actor as well. Like he's just phenomenal. And I knew he was playing that character in this show, but I didn't realize they were going to go where they went with it. Like, because they did not shy away from any of it, man. Like that, and that's beautiful. I love that they did that. And his performance also, like I was legitimately like tearing up when he was talking about, like I was in prison for 30 years for being a hero. I was like, God damn, man. Like I can't do this right now. Like Marvel, come on, man. But it was just so good, man. And it's just like, God, man. Like, yeah, man. Like I'm glad I'm watching this show because, like I said, I did not expect this, and it blew me away. Sorry, I'm monopolizing the time here talking about it. Cliff, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's perfect because there's like three other things that like really like we should low key like talk about that happened in this episode. Two of them which happened in this scene, right? So we got Isaiah Bradley obviously being talked about, so Black Captain America, and
Yeah.
obviously him going to jail and being, that's a huge character to be putting in. Not only that though, the kid who answered the
Yeah.
door. Are you kidding me? Like
Yeah.
we're talking about getting together like the Young Adventurers in this,
Yeah.
and with Elijah being right there, like in the front scene, like
Yeah.
that's massive. And I was like,
Yeah.
yo, like genuinely, I'm like excited because I want to see this play out and I want to see what's gonna happen. And there's just so much stuff that's like, bro, like
There-
there's so much tying in that we're doing, and we're weaving this huge world of just Marvel, and you can see it like expanding, like to
mm,
new scenes. I'm like, bro, like every single time we're introducing new characters every single time, and with Wiccan and Speed being introduced, and now possibly Elijah being introduced. Kate obviously is going to be someone that's going to be introduced. We have Cassidy that was Cassie that was introduced
yeah.
in Ant-Man. So I mean, you're just seeing like the world expand, and we're like seeing all the new characters play out.
Also, in the previous episode, the person that was working with Sam, his last name was Torres. I can't remember his first name. He's actually who becomes the Falcon after Sam becomes Captain America. So again, like there's one of those things where it's like, if you know who that character is, subtle little world building going on there. So I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. That's pretty. Also, I have a theory. And I know we're not done talking about the episode, but Cliff, I have this theory. I got to run it by you. So based on how a lot of this episode played out, especially with like John Walker being the new Captain America and whatnot, and like seeing Bucky's reaction to it and seeing Sam's reaction to it, and by the way, they're both completely justified in their reactions to it. Um, I have a theory, and again, like I'm not spoiling anything for anybody who knows Marvel comics. John Walker, not a great dude, so like, there's no way he's gonna actually be the new Captain America. So I have this theory, Cliff. Since we know in the comics both Bucky and Sam have been Captain America, like separately, what do you think the odds are at the end of this series they're both Captain America? Like they both kind of share the mantle and the responsibility of Captain America.
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, that's definitely a Feige thing to do. Like, cause I know, like you know, like we mentioned, like Sam was, or I guess technically still is Captain America, whereas
Yeah, I
Bucky
think
was for a
so.
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bucky was for a little bit, and Bucky gave it up because he said obviously like the shield like hit too close to home, and like with Steve and him, so that's why he gave it up to Sam. I would
Yeah.
like to see it. I would love to see it happen.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I think because it's a way to honor the fact that both of those characters had been Captain America at some point, and especially since that, like I said, I brought up John Walker and how they're like, oh, this is the new Captain America. And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Wyatt Russell who plays John Walker on the show because he's again one of the things I loved about this episode was his performance as well. Because when we're first introduced to him, and this is totally because of Wyatt Russell. He's phenomenally talented. He comes across as completely like genuine and earnest, and you do, or at least I did genuinely see like, oh, he probably could be Captain America, right? But then like the more the episode goes on, and right up until like the final scene that he's in, where they have that thing where it's like, we're free agents, we can work better on our own. We're not going to work with you. And he goes, okay, then I only have one piece of advice for you guys. Stay the hell out of my way. He just turns it on like that. And it's like, yeah, he can be like genuinely terrifying. And it was in that moment where I was like, oh, yeah, no, he's not a good guy. Okay. Like that's straight up. Because, like I said, like his performance was so convincing that I was like, oh, is he just going to be the new Captain America? Because that would be interesting and a complete swerve. But then, like I said, in that final moment, it's like, oh no, that's a bad guy. That's a bad guy, like for sure. So, but
Also,
I think. Oh, sorry. Just let me.
no, you're fine. Keep going.
So I think that like obviously he's not going to be Captain America, and the whole thing is about like both Sam and Bucky sort of realizing what their responsibility is. I think it would make total sense if they both kind of share that responsibility and the mantle. But that's just a theory I have. But go ahead, Cliff.
I was gonna say, and then can we like talk about like the other big thing that kind of got dropped? And for some people, it may be a huge thing. For other people, maybe not so much. But where Sam called him White Panther, and he's like, no, it's White Wolf, and he was like, what? And he was just like, just kind of ignored the rest of the comment, and just kind of moved. I was like, oh, we just doing this too now, are we? I was like, we just gonna bypass this whole thing, and we just gonna be like, yeah, that's what happens.
No, yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought that also there was another really great joke where remember when they first go looking for Isaiah Bradley and they see the kid and he's like, "Oh, you're Black Falcon." It's like it's just Falcon. It's like my dad calls you Black Falcon. It's like, "Oh, so are you Black Kid?" And the kid just shuts up. That was a great joke.
It was such a great movie. Because I love because that little kid just got, my dad says you're Black Falcon, and that's what I'm gonna call you. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that was such a smooth
Oh, so
line. I
you're
was like,
Black. And just the look on that kid's face, he's like, like that was great. I loved both of those moments. That was pretty cool.
yes, let's go, let's
But
go.
also, let's talk about there was a really great action scene in this episode on the truck where I think this action scene did a lot of really cool stuff because like it establishes like what Bucky can do, like because he just ran and caught up to the truck, jumped on it, and and obviously it's like, well, we know he's got enhanced speed and agility and whatnot, but like to see it shown off like he just ran up to the truck, jumped on it, and opened it up, got in there, and then like Falcon, we see him fly off and do all his stuff. Like the action scene was really good at showing off what each character can do, but also what John Walker is capable of doing. Because like like we saw him throwing the shield around. It's like, oh, he's really good with that shield. But also like when what's his partner Battlestar when he gets thrown off the truck and he throws the shield and like catches him with it. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I really liked this action scene, man. It was pretty cool. What about you, Cliff?
It was just like that little girl kicked your ass.
Yeah.
But it also, and we go back to talking about the things that each character has and what they're able to do, and we saw Falcon, like he obviously like he's just super smart, but he can make really great quick decisions because there's that scene where Bucky was gonna fall and he just like dove in and saved Bucky from hitting the ground and took off with him. And I was like, yo, that was a great move. I was like, that was Loki so sly. It's like great on his part.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really liked that. So yeah, man, I really loved this episode. Like I said, like it did so many cool things that I wasn't expecting it to do, and yeah, man, I can't wait to see what else happens. I mean, like, there's obviously a lot of other things that happened in this episode that I feel like breaking it down would be like, man, we'd be here for hours. And not that I'm against that, but we only have so much time to do this. But what would you rate this episode, Cliff?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 on this one as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. Maybe even a 9.5. I think I enjoyed this episode that much. It was really good. And ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind I gave the first episode an 8. So this is a pretty big mark. Like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. It was fantastic, phenomenal. Probably my favorite thing that Marvel has done since The Winter Soldier. So take that however you want. But yeah, I really loved it. So I can't wait to see what else happens. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. If you're watching the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, let us know what you think. Did you enjoy it as much as we did? Did it hit you the way it hit me? Probably. But let's hear your reactions, man. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. So, all right, Cliff, we did it. We got through all the news this week. Talked about all the TV we watched. Before we get out of here, Cliff, you know what I watched last weekend?
What'd you watch last weekend?
I watched SpongeBob, the Sponge on the Run. Watched it on Paramount Plus. Just another streaming service I had to subscribe to. You know what? I liked it. It was fun. It was a good time. I think if you're looking for something to watch with the family, give it a watch, man. It was a good time. Good time. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up. I thought it was fun. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick. But other than that, Cliff, let everybody out there know where they can find you online.
So you guys can find me at linktree.com/the_reddog85. It legitimately has all my stuff there from, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Clapper, the YouTube channels. Plus, it also has your YouTube links for Nerds of the Round Table as well as the podcast itself. So catch up with me there.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Go do it, go do what you got to do. Show him all the likes, follow him, show him all the support, all the love. He deserves it. I am, of course, Antonio Padilla. You can find me on all social media at Tron Pilgrim or at Tron Pilgrim 87. Don't forget to check out Mr. Swagtastic on YouTube. And one more time, a happy birthday to Swag. Again, it was yesterday, but hey, either way. Also, Cliff, he did say thank you for you because you did wish him a happy birthday yesterday. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what to do. Also, you can like Nerds of the Roundtable on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Nerds of the Roundtable. Follow us on Twitter at RealNerds_. You can always find us on anchor.fm/nerds, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, everywhere podcasts are available. And if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, leaving a like costs you nothing and it helps us out tremendously. So, and once again, if you enjoy these videos, do us a solid, share them with your friends and family if you think they'll enjoy them as well. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the news for this week. Join us next week. Same nerd time, same nerd channel. Good night, folks.